Nation, y'all know what time it is, man. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building. You guys know what time it is, man. You already know game day, Chief Week. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. We got a friend, family of the show, right? You know, an enemy when it comes to our football teams, right? But the respect level, the love is there. You know what I mean? NFL credentialed, Bleacher Report host, KC Sports Report. My guy, my AFC West Roundtable brethren, my dog, man, Michael Darcy in the building. What's good, bro?
What is good, Graphk?
How you feeling, man?
Honestly, I'm excited for this game. Listen, these AFC West games, even though the teams might not be good, it is always a great matchup. And so, like, it doesn't matter that you guys are what, 2-5 at this point. It does not matter. It is going to be a good game. And it's going to be a game that, listen, I circle on my calendar every time we play you guys.
Yeah. And, you know, this was the game that we wanted the most because, you know, last year, Christmas Day, we go to your place. You know, we kind of get that stigma off us not being able to beat you guys in Arrowhead, right? Haven't been able to beat you at Allegiant Stadium. And, you know, right now, man, we're a lowly 2-5. Gardner Minshew is the guy. He struggled all year long, Darcy. We've had these discussions every Tuesday night. Realistically, man, what are your expectations for this game today? I mean, you know, Mahomes is having a down season, but this is Mahomes against the Raiders. Travis Kelce's having a down season. This is Travis Kelce against the Raiders. What are your expectations going into this game?
We'll see. We're also going to see DeAndre Hopkins make his Chiefs debut today. And apparently he's going to play a lot from what I've seen from James Palmer. So I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to play a lot. I think he's just so smart, and he's just, you know, he's the veteran wide receiver you needed. So he's going to be able to do, you know, the bare minimum. And listen, Sky Moore, a guy with 2 targets on the season, no catches, no yards, he's already a giant step up from that. And so you're going to get to see D-Hop. Travis Kelce hasn't had a great year. You know this better than I do. He turns up when he plays the Raiders.
Yes.
He might play the Broncos tougher, but he plays the Raiders extremely tough. Yeah. And so I've heard a lot of the Kansas City media kind of chalk this game up to a win and kind of just saying the Raiders are trash. And basically, like Nate Taylor out of The Athletic was like, yeah, this game shouldn't even be close. I do think it'll be close because the Chiefs have shown this year that it's going to be close regardless of how good or bad your team is. And we might have, you know, you guys might have more questions about the Chiefs after this week if they don't blow the Raiders out. Yeah. They'll win a very efficient game where they'll run the ball well. They'll make the right play at the right time, and they might win by a touchdown. But this whole thing where they're going to win by 14 points, they've done it before against the Raiders, but I'm not expecting that this week.
And we were in agreement on the AFC West Roundtable about that, this being a close game. You know, I'm a Raider fan, diehard, but I have to be reasonable. I have to be logical, right? I do have us losing a close game. I think this is going to be close. Your defense is phenomenal. Our offense has been stagnant all year. Our defense always shows up against this Chiefs team. So I think it's going to be a defensive battle. And I like what you said about D-Hop, man, because there's been conflicting reports. Initially, it was put out there that he'll only be out there for a few plays here and there. And now it comes out that he's going to be a major piece of that offense. I think that D-Hop is like a Devontae Adams where you can put him out there in a new system. He is who he is. You get him the football, and he's going to do what he does. I do believe, though, that this is an older – and I don't want to say he's washed up, but he's getting up there in age, you know.
He's 32 years old, you know, like he is getting old.
Yes.
I think though, like he does raise the floor of the wide receiver room. Graphk, you remember like in the preseason when we were talking about wide receiver rooms and how the Chiefs had like, I guess the third or fourth best according to like everybody else in the list?
Yeah.
We might have the best now. Like it went from being the worst to the best, seemingly.
I know we went from best to worst for sure.
Hey, listen, have you seen the Broncos? They're not very good. They cut Tim Patrick, so it's like we might have gone from being one of the worst to one of the best just with this trade. But he's not somebody that is immediately going to, be this team's like he had 1,400 yards back in like 2014. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But if he can give you 1,000, if he can give you 900 and make some big time plays in the playoffs, I think that's the expectation. But we haven't talked about the trade because it happened, I think it was Wednesday of last week.
Yep.
But the fact that they were able to give up a conditional fourth that only becomes a fourth if you make the Super Bowl and he plays 60% of the snaps. That is a fantastic bet for the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you're talking about like the wide receivers, Amari Cooper went for around that same price.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs are always in win now mode. I hate to say it. So it was a great move by them. They needed to do that. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a better move than going out and spending, let's just say, a third round pick or even higher on a Deontay Johnson who's 28 years old. I think D-Hop fits better with what you guys are trying to do. And he hasn't played with the real quarterback since, the early days of Deshaun. You know what? He played with Kyler Murray. And they had some successful seasons out there in Arizona. I mean, in terms of production,
sure.
It's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to ask you, man, as a Chiefs fan, this team, the ins and outs. What do we need to do effectively to find a way to claw out a victory against you guys?
So I don't think you guys will be able to run the ball. I think you guys have had issues running the ball. This Chiefs defense has been historically not great against the run, but this year they've been fantastic.
Yeah, I think they're the best defense team against the run.
They're insane. We've always had this issue of not being able to stop the run. You can list any running back we've played. We shut them down. Like Derrick Henry, Kamara, down the list. Even Mason last week against the Niners. He was running crazy and we shut him down. So I don't think you'll be able to run the ball. I do think, however, you could use that stud you have in Brock Bowers to get the chains going and get some first downs. We have had some issues guarding the tight end, and that might be kind of because Justin Reed has taken a dip in production. Not a huge dip, but a little bit of a dip. And so you could have, the opportunity to use Brock Bowers and, he could have a huge game today, but you're going to have to not only, use Brock Bowers, you're going to have somebody else step up. And similar to, what the Chiefs have done earlier this season, they're going to have to turn the ball over and you guys are going to have to capitalize in some way because I know Mahomes has been inefficient this year to the naked eye and that, he hasn't been the same Mahomes, but he is going to maybe give you an opportunity or two. But that's going to just depend on if you guys can capitalize against this defense that hasn't really been broken yet this year.
Yeah. And our defense, we're without so many weapons right now, Darce. It's absolutely insane. Malcolm Koonce didn't get a chance to play a snap. Christian Wilkins, the big time $100 million man, is out for this season. Marcus Epps starting safety. The defense isn't the same as it once was as well, but I do believe that Max, he's always showing up for Chief Week. He's always showing up for Chiefs Week. You got to keep an eye on him. I'm telling you now, he's going to have a big game. He's going to be after Patrick Mahomes. A guy that has struggled for us, and I've talked about it a lot because I was really excited about the addition, is Jack Jones, who played really well for us last year and balled out against the Chiefs on Christmas Day. The pick six, they're looking at Patrick Mahomes, the viral meme. I'm expecting a big game from him, even though, he's had a down season, man. And the nation is kind of tired of him right now. It's like he's afraid of contact. He's kind of – I don't know what kind of year it is with Jack Jones. Jacorian Bennett, a year two guy out of Maryland, is now our corner one. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting a big game from Jack Jones. But right now, in terms of your defense, what would you say is the weakness that we could exploit? I know you said you guys kind of difficult to guard the tight end, but is there anywhere else? Because I'm hearing that your DBs are a little beat up right now.
Well, really quickly, I want to say Jack Jones, the guy that I compare him to, he's Marcus Peters. He's he's somebody that is going to go after the football. He's going to get burned sometimes, but the other times he'll make it work. And he kind of has that attitude of a Marcus Peters. So I think that's a pretty good comp for him. And he was really good at the beginning of his career, but as it kind of went on, he kind of got a lot worse. But a weakness of the Chiefs defense, I think that's going to have to be cornerback too. Jalen Watson broke his ankle in last week's game, and he was cornerback too. And so they're throwing either Najee Johnson or Joshua Williams in at cornerback too. And I don't feel great about that, but I will give the Chiefs and Dave Merritt, the cornerbacks coach, the benefit of the doubt because he's churned out some fantastic options, at the cornerback position. But that will be a spot like you're not throwing to Trent McDuffie's side of the field, but you might throw at Najee Johnson. You might throw at Chris Roland Wallace, the guy that had a pick last week. I had to look his name up. I had no idea who this guy was. So it's just like we're throwing guys in there that don't really have the experience, and it's kind of trial by fire, but you're going to have to attack cornerback too, because you're not going to do anything on McDuffie, but you could on Najee Johnson or, any of the other guys that they might have at CB2.
You're the defensive coordinator, Darcy. Who are you putting on Brock Bowers today? Because once again, I don't know if you've seen, but Jacoby Myers will be active today. He missed the last few weeks with an ankle injury. He's essentially our wide receiver one now with Devontae out, but I mean, it's clear cut. Brock Bowers is the guy. Who are you putting on Brock Bowers on the defense side of the ball?
So they used to put Snead, either Snead or Reed on the tight end. I honestly, Brock Bowers is the only offensive weapon that remotely concerns me. I might just put my best on him. I might put Trent McDuffie on him and see what happens. They'll probably put Justin Reed on Brock Bowers. I would rather go with McDuffie because McDuffie's been locked down all year.
All pro.
We'll see what ends up happening. They'll probably put a safety on him.
Well, what have you looked like in terms of the defense giving up the big play? Because we do have a guy, Trey Tucker, who we've kind of been waiting for to take the league by storm, and he has every intangible to get it done. It's just we haven't been able to throw the football effectively. Have you given up big plays on the defense side of the ball this year? I mean, it's not really.
No, it's been very weird. It's usually we have that one or two big plays a game where it's just like, what the heck happened? And I think it's happened maybe a couple times this year where a cornerback falls down. But even then it's like a 25-yard gain and not like a 50-yard gain. I don't think that big playability is going to necessarily be there just because like it hasn't happened so far. And you guys have had issues, pushing the ball downfield. But I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe it does, but I don't think it probably happens.
Are you afraid, Darcy, that at some point today, if Gardner Minshew goes out there and shits the bed, which we expect him to do so, are you afraid to see 25-year-old Desmond Ridder out there with no real film on him? I mean, this would be such a Raider Chiefs thing, man, to put a guy out there, Desmond Ridder, and he goes out there and absolutely balls out. What do you think about?
In my boots, Graphk. Shaking in my boots.
I had to ask you. I had to make a joke out of it because the nation, we get so excited about every pickup, and then we all look at these new quarterbacks that come in, right? Journeyman, and this is his third team. He's 25 years old. We always look at him as the Jim Plunkett or a Rich Gannon situation where we're like, he can be the next guy to come in and change his career. I mean, what do you think about the quarterback situation right now? Would you rather face a Gardner Minshew who struggled mightily all year, thrown pick after pick, or would you rather face the question mark in Desmond Ridder?
Honestly, I'd probably rather face Ridder just because it's his first week in a new offensive system. And I know there's no tape out on him, but like Gardner won the job for a reason. He might not be good, but he won it for a reason. And so I don't think that Ridder would be ready yet. Now, if you would ask me this question 3 weeks from now, it might be a different answer. But like first week in a new offensive system, you guys, if he comes in the game, you guys are running the most basic offense that he knows. So at that point against this defense, honestly, you guys just run the ball. Like at that point, don't even let him throw it.
We elevated our UDFA Carter Bradley out of South Alabama rookie.
I saw that.
So I wouldn't expect Ridder to play anyway because he's only been there for a week. It probably would be Carter Bradley, who's been already, seeing the system that Luke Getsy has. So he probably would be the guy. And salute to Sacktown Raider Mike. I appreciate you for the $5, man. And shout out to the nation, a lifelong Raider fan who's in the ICU at the hospital. His name is Les, a.k.a. Pinhead. Amen. Prayers up to Les, a.k.a. Pinhead, man. Sacktown, send him our love. And everybody in the chat, man, put those prayer hands up. We appreciate you, Sacktown. Send them that love from the nation, man. Appreciate you as always. Also, let's go over the injury report here real quick, Dar. So is it Mike Dana? Donna?
I feel like it changes. I called him Dana. I guess it's Dana. I don't know.
He's out.
Neck injury, so he's done.
He's out. Sky Moore is on the IR now, huh?
Thank God, dude. Thank God. I mean, listen, initially when I was talking about it, I thought there might have been a chance they put him on IR just to get rid of him. Apparently he has to have surgery though to fix it. So it's actually serious. And I feel bad for kind of joking about that, but like he's been so much of a non-factor. I've been saying this stat on my channel all week long. Raiders fans, our starting left tackle, Wanye Morris, has 1 reception for 1 touchdown, which is more than our number 3 wide receiver. That is nasty work, Graphk. Nasty
that
work.
is
Bad. that is horrible. So I'm glad that he's gone. I would cut him mid-season, but the Chiefs just don't let go of guys that they've got team control of.
I was wrong about Sky because I was a big fan of him coming out in that draft out of college. And if you can't get it done with Patrick Mahomes, I don't know where you can get it done. Also, we already know about Hollywood Brown. He's on the IR. Jalen Watson, you just mentioned him. What'd you say? He broke his ankle?
Yeah. So something IR. Lower leg.
Yeah, so he's gone. Potentially can come back in time for a playoff.
I think he's done for the season, which is a big loss.
Yeah, Juju's out. For us, Jacoby Myers is questionable, but he's expected to play. Dylan Parham that's a big blow for our offensive line. He is out, so you're going to see some Jordan Meredith out there at the guard position. Mwaga, our linebacker, who plays a lot of special teams, questionable. Tommy Eichenberg, linebacker, rookie out of Ohio State. Big fan of him. Hasn't really been able to get that many snaps yet, but he's questionable. And Harrison Bryant dealing with, I believe, is it an elbow, shoulder injury? He's questionable as well. So going to be interesting to see how this offense works with all these injuries. But it's a great sign to have our guy Jacoby back. Great route runner, does all the dirty work, blocking, and that's what you want out of your wide receivers. What are you expecting from your offense today?
I hope a better performance. I mean, listening to everybody in Kansas City, they seem to think that this is kind of a get-right game, which I could kind of see. I have heard some rumors, and I don't know the legitimacy of it. Last time we played, there was that whole ring around the rosy thing and the embarrassing thing. There's a rumor going around that the Chiefs are going to try to do at least 1 or 2 embarrassing things today, like a trick play, something to kind of get the Raiders, like a gotcha moment. I don't know if that stems from the whole puppet thing from the preseason and
I expect it.
I don't know if that has any legitimacy, but I think that there will be at least one play today that's like, wow, like that just happened.
It's not a rumor. So there were reports that they were working on some things early in the off season in practice, and there was some footage that actually got kind of leaked from camp where they were doing some behind the Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes shit. Yeah. But there was one specific play. I forgot exactly what it was that they did, but it was some crazy shit. And I expect Andy Reid to do that today. This all happens because of John Gruden. The bus ride around Arrowhead when we beat you guys at Arrowhead. This is all because of John Gruden. So, and I'm expecting
apparently, and I kind of forgot about this, but when Jack Del Rio was the head coach, he apparently got into like a stare down with Andy Reid.
Yes.
Like I completely forgot about that, but it just shows you like this is a true rivalry. It doesn't matter how good or bad these teams are. We hate each other. Like this is a game.
Del Rio hates the Chiefs more than anybody because he grew up in Hayward, which is in the backyard of Oakland. You can pretty much see the Oakland College. He grew up a Raider fan. So that's already in his blood. And then AP, you already know, Raider fan from LA. This is real. This is real, you guys. We know this. We know this. But I mean, it just sucks that most of the time we face each other, one of us is down and out, the other one is great, or vice versa. I hate this. I wish that we were a better team this year so we could both be excited about this game. I put a video out yesterday. I had to be honest, man. I'm just like, I'm not excited about this game because this team has done nothing. The brand of football that we putting out there, Darcy, it's not fun to watch. There's nothing that you can take out of this team to watch and you say, we can build on that. I mean, now I'm just watching some of these young guys. I love watching Brock Bowers, man. I love watching him play the game. There's some other guys on the O-line I'm excited about, but it's just tough, man. This is a tough year to be a Raider fan. It's always a tough year to be a Raider fan, but this is tougher because there's absolutely nothing to be excited about. Max has no sparring partner on the defensive line. Everybody's hurt. You know what I mean? It sucks, man. It really, truly sucks. But like you said, it's a divisional game. And AP is going to have these guys ready to go today. He's going to have them ready to go. I don't know what that means. Can they pull a dub? Can they pull an upset? Maybe. But you guys have owned us in recent memory at Allegiant Stadium. So we have not beat you there as Las Vegas Raiders once. You guys have owned that building, and then you're coming off of a Super Bowl win over the 49ers in our place as well. So
I like to tweet. I'm going to try to find it. It was something about the wins at Allegiant Stadium, like going over like head coaches. Oh, maybe I didn't like it. It was most wins for a coach at Allegiant Stadium, playoffs included. Josh McDaniels has 6, Andy Reid has 5, and Antonio Pierce also has 5. So we have the same amount of wins as Pierce does.
That sums it up right there in recent history, how bad we've been. Real quick, you guys, total defense. The Chiefs are 10th in the NFL, allowing, I believe, 306.2 yards a game. Also, 11 touchdowns allowed. That is total defense, passing defense. So you guys are kind of middle in the pack there. So it looks like we may be able to throw the football a little bit on you guys. You rank 20th, 215.7 a game, and also you've allowed 7 touchdowns in the air. Rushing defense, that's where things get tricky. You are number 4. You're one of the best teams against the run, only allowing 90.5 per game and only allowing 4 touchdowns on the ground all season long. In the ground game, we're terrible. We're 23rd in the NFL, allowing 136.7, and we've given up 9 touchdowns on the ground. And then us in the passing game, we're one of the better teams against the pass, though, Darcy. We're 8th in the league, only allowing 180 yards a game, and we've given up 8 passing touchdowns. So something to monitor there, man. You know, we're one of the better passing defenses. You guys have kind of struggled. You know, where are you guys in terms of the passing game? Because Patrick Mahomes, it's not looked too good this year. But where are you guys in terms of throwing the football? I mean, everybody's hurt. Everybody's hurt right now. Like you said, Wanya Morris has a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, this isn't a popular take among Chiefs fans. I think you run the football. Like, Kareem Hunt has been a dog this year. Yeah. And, like, you have a great offensive line that is great in the run blocking. Mm-hmm. Run the ball. Like, Kareem Hunt's getting you 6 yards on first down. It's 2nd and 4. It kind of opens up the offense a lot more. Yeah. I think they'll probably throw it a little bit more today, giving Mahomes D-Hop. It's just another weapon. I think a lot of people are kind of freaking out about the slow start to Mahomes. I understand the whole touchdown interception ratio is not good. Yeah. But listen, I mean, I've seen this dude literally overnight just fix it. So I'm not really, too panicked about what he does in the regular season. Also, the Chiefs offense isn't flashy, but they're efficient. Efficiency is the most important thing. And on third down, more likely than not, they're converting. And so, like they might not, put up a bunch of yards, put up a bunch of touchdowns, but they're going to find a way to win, and they're going to do it in the most efficient way possible. And when you're seeing all of these injuries to your offensive side, you have to find a way to win, and efficiency is the only thing that this Chiefs team's been able to do.
And one thing that you guys are really good at, you rank 5th in the NFL in scoring defense. So, that's a plus.
I think that's the most important defensive stat.
Yeah. And also, you guys protect the red zone. You're 9th in the league, 47.4 defensive red zone rating. So you guys don't allow a lot of touchdowns there in the red zone. And we're a team that has had problems scoring in the red zone all season long. But one thing that we're really good at is, and this is where Patrick Mahomes, the company, got to figure out, we're one of the best third down defenses in the NFL. We're 2nd only behind the Dolphins. So if you guys find a way to convert on third down, we may be in trouble because we've been good there all season long. So salute to Carla as well. Play better football. That's an understatement, Carla, but I appreciate you so much on a $5 special. Give me a couple players on the defensive side of the ball that you think are keys to victory for your team, and give me 2 guys on the offensive side of the ball as well, where you think if they get it done, you guys get it done.
I feel like the big one on defense is Chris Jones, so I'm not going to mention him. Chris Jones obviously has to have a big game in order to win.
That's like Max.
But I will say on the defensive line, George Karlaftis is going to have a big game, whether it's just getting to the quarterback, pressuring him. It doesn't necessarily have to be sacks, but you got to get to Minshew just to make it a little bit more difficult for him to sit back there and throw. And I think that Justin Reed, we're talking about Brock Bowers. We're talking about who's going to guard him. If it is Justin Reed, he's going to have a big game. He had a pick in last week's contest against the Niners. I think that he's going to have to shut down Brock Bowers, or at least limit him, because it could get, a little too close for comfort. And listen, I think this game's already going to be close for comfort. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Just take care of business. So Justin Reed and George Karlaftis, another guy on the defensive side, whoever's cornerback too, whether it's Najee Johnson or Chris Rowland Wallace, That's the biggest hole right now on this defense. If you're going to attack it, you're going to attack it at that spot. So that guy's going to have just a really good game to kind of hold things down for the defense. Offensively, I think Kareem Hunt running the football, he's going to have a big game. He was on the injury report on Monday or Tuesday with a hip injury, but he's good to go. He should be fine. And then another guy, let's go with honestly, I want to see Xavier Worthy. I know we're talking about, DeAndre Hopkins. I don't really have any expectations for him this week because he could have 10 catches for $130, or he could have 3 catches for 18. You just don't know.
I'm shocked you didn't say Kelsey.
Yeah. Well, Kelsey too. Actually, no, we'll put Kelsey over Worthy. I'm just excited to see if Worthy can maybe expose some stuff over the top. And if Jack Jones can keep up with him, or I don't even know who you put on.
It probably would be Jack. It probably would be Jack. He's the quicker corner that we have. I wouldn't be shocked to see Jacorian Bennett on him as well. But I'd rather have Jacorian on D-Hop. You know what I mean? And see if Jack can keep up with Xavier Worthy. So interested. But I asked you about the offense. It's crazy as it sounds, right? Patrick Mahomes is having a down season, but you guys are still 10th in total offense. You're still averaging 350 yards a game, and you have 16 offensive touchdowns. That says a lot about this offense still being able to figure out ways to get it done, even though Patrick Mahomes is having a down season. Because in the passing game, where are you guys ranked in terms of the passing offense? You're 13th. So middle of the pack offense in terms of passing, 221 yards a game, 6 touchdowns in the air. But it comes down to you guys are running the football effectively, man. How do you expect that ground game to get it done today?
I think they're going to run the ball really well. And listen, we're doing all this with Kareem Hunt, who I love Kareem Hunt, but he got signed off the street 3 weeks ago. Just imagine what's going to happen when you add Pacheco back from that injury, which from all the reports that I've heard, he's already walking around without a boot. And he broke his fibula. So he's on the comeback. He's on the mend. And so once he comes back, I still think you start Hunt over Pacheco, which might be crazy, but Hunt has done things in this offense that we haven't really seen with Pacheco. So I still think that you have to play Pacheco when he comes back, but the starter should be Kareem Hunt. But I think we'll run the ball effectively in this game. It'll open up those short yardage situations, which that was the issue before Kareem Hunt, is on first down, they'd throw it. It'd be 2nd and 10 if they don't convert. Then it's, then they'll run it for 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 8. And then it's just a 3rd and long situation where they don't convert half the time. So being able to run the ball for 5 or 6 yards on first down really kind of changes what you can do offensively the rest of the drive. So I think that that's the key. Run the ball on 1st and 2nd downs. And Kareem Hunt could easily have 25 carries for $120 today.
We've not been able to stop the run all year. That's one of our Achilles heels on the defense side of the ball. So I expect you guys to be able to run the football effectively today. And to be honest, that's who I'm afraid of the most on the offensive side of the ball today is Kareem Hunt. I think him and Travis Kelce, to me, you got to stop those guys. Travis is a Raider killer. I hate to say it, but then you got Hunt there, and we've been struggling to stop the run, man. It's been terrible, bro. And the thing I'm afraid of the most is it's going to be a tight game at the half. And the thing that's scary about that is Andy Reid just knows how to make those halftime adjustments, man. AP has not been able to do that up to this point yet. And he always finds a way in the second half to just get away from the Raiders. We have to find a way to make the right adjustments at the half because Andy is a genius at them, and he always finds a way to do that.
Yeah, and listen, if we win the coin toss, we're deferring. We're getting the ball in the second half. And so that just puts the pressure on Minshew in the first half to go out and score. And what the Chiefs have done historically is they'll get the ball before the half, and they'll find a way to go on a 30-second drive and get a field goal, and then they get the ball back. And then you find yourself maybe down by 10. Yeah. And then it's just you start to press a little bit. And so I definitely think that, those halftime adjustments, you can't really fully understand it until you see it. And it's just, it's crazy. What he's able to do with this team, all the injuries included, I think he should be coach of the year, to be honest with you.
Man, I look, as much as I hate to say it, you put him right there with Dan Campbell and company out there in Detroit. I definitely agree with you. Well, why are you guys having so many red zone issues this year? You're 26th in the NFL. You only capitalize 47.8% of the time. What's going on with you guys in the red zone offense?
That's been an issue for a while. It even leading back to last year. I think part of it is, I mean, you know this, the field just shrinks. You're going from trying to score 80 yards down the field to trying to score 10 to 15.
Yeah.
So the field shrinks. They didn't really have anybody that could get open and that, could create separation in the end zone. Xavier Worthy, love him. He's not somebody that in a 15-yard vacuum is going to be able to make too much separation. And Travis Kelce just hasn't done it this year so far. But I think DeAndre Hopkins is probably the answer to that solution. He's one of the best red zone targets that we've seen in the NFL over the past decade.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a big thing with the trade is that he could solve a lot of those red zone issues. But one thing that we've seen this year that we haven't really seen in years prior, when they're in the red zone, they're running the ball in for scores.
Yeah.
Like Kareem Hunt had 2 touchdowns last week. If this was 4 years ago, Mahomes has 4 passing touchdowns and like 250 yards. But they've just changed it. They've just gone in with running the football, and it's worked. And so I think that you got to continue doing that because, Travis Kelce could be a red zone option today. But if you can run the ball effectively, which I think the Chiefs are going into this game with the mindset that they can, they're just going to run the ball in the end zone.
Salute to Hug, man. Most notable Raider inactives today. So the inactives just dropped. Dylan Laube, which is expected. McAllister expected. Parham is out. And Bryant. So salute to my guy, Hug D's, the my father over here. Appreciate you, brother, on the update. 2 assessments of your team, man. We're pretty much almost there at the halfway mark of the season. Xavier Worthy, what's your honest assessment of him up to this point?
He's a rookie. I mean, he's a rookie that is very raw. You can kind of see the talent. You can see that he could be special in the future.
Yeah.
He's not getting a ton of catches. And that's partially just because Andy Reid has never really opened up the offense to a first-year guy. And Rashee Rice was really the guy to break the mold last year.
Yeah.
And it was out of necessity because they had nobody else.
Yeah.
And so I kind of understand why Rashee Rice hasn't had an explosive rookie season. But, in the moments that he has, produced, they've been big ones. Like that touchdown against the Chargers. And, he had the catch later on in that game to ice that game against the Chargers. So we've seen it in flashes. We just haven't seen it consistently. I will say they'll probably do an end around today or a jet sweep. And they'll get him involved. And he is scary when he's got space.
Yes. And same thing with Trey Tucker. I'm expecting him to do the same thing on our side. Unsung hero. You guys are 6-0 right now. It's easy to give Andy Reid all the flowers, to get Patrick Mahomes, even though he's having a down season. He's Patrick Mahomes. Trent McDuffie is just a stud. I knew he was going to be this coming out of Washington. This dude is phenomenal. Who's the unsung hero? Who's a guy that we should be watching today in this game? If you're Chiefs fans in the chat, and a lot of people aren't talking about that unsung hero, could be on the defense side of the ball, offense side of the ball. Who is it for you guys?
So Kareem Hunt comes to mind, but I'm going to give a guy that Chiefs fans like and that he's actually gotten a lot more receptions in the last couple seasons. Noah Gray. Tight end Noah Gray has been really good in the moments that he's been targeted. Last week against the Niners, he was a killer. He had multiple catches on that one drive where they just could not cover him. And so Noah Gray has been sneakily good. And when you don't have Sky Moore and when you don't have, Justin Watson stepping up, your tight end 2 has been that guy. So he's been really good this year when he's been targeted. And he's somebody that has that chemistry and just rapport with Mahomes. And that's not really easy to do. I mean, we've seen guys struggle and Mahomes trusts him. So I think Noah Gray's been sneakily good this year. I'm not going to say that he's the reason why we're winning games, but he's somebody that no one's really talking about that has been a consistent producer when there hasn't really been one.
Yeah. 2 guys I'm going to give you on the defense side of the ball for us in order to win the game. 2 guys on the offensive side of the ball as well. Defensively, it starts with Jack Jones. I said it already. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to target him early and a lot because of the whole magician talk last season. I think that he is going to target him a lot. Jack Jones has to be on his toes today. Robert Spillane, our linebacker has been phenomenal for us since coming over from Pittsburgh. You guys are going to run the football a lot. And I think that Spill has to be active in the ground game. We're just beat up on the defensive line, Darcy. I expect you guys to get past that front line a lot. I'm expecting Spillane to step up there at linebacker, especially in the ground game. Has to lead us in tackles. because I don't want to see Merrick, our safeties, leading us in tackles today, because that's bad at that point, because that means you're just gashing us in the ground game. On the offense side, it's clear because Brock Bowers. We have to get him active. I expect him to have another tutty today. I hope that he gets over 100 yards. That's not me saying that we're going to beat you because of it, but this kid is so spectacular, bro. Like, you watch him in year one, and you see a lot of Travis Kelce. You see that George Kittle, that kind of mold. Like, he is going to be one of those type of guys. He needs to have a big game. And I hate to say it, and this fucking sucks to say it, Gardner Minshew, he has to have a big game. And that sucks that you have to depend on the life of Gardner Minshew. You know what I'm saying? Because he struggled all year long, and he has the happy feet. You can tell he doesn't trust this run game. He doesn't trust the offensive line. And I swear to God, bro, it's like right when he snaps the football, he's looking to get out of the pocket immediately. You can tell.
He might not trust his coach either.
I don't think he trusts anybody. I mean, real talk. But I'm hoping that he can do his thing today. But yeah, man. Also, I'll throw a wild card out there. Colton Miller at left tackle. He's starting to finally get it back together after that shoulder injury. He struggled early on this season, like really, really bad. He was getting cooked. But he's starting to put it back together after that big shoulder injury he had in the offseason, shoulder surgery in the offseason. So if he can block there on the left side, we may be cooking with some grease here, man. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. We're not done yet, but hey, let everybody know where to follow you at, brother.
You guys can follow me on YouTube at KC Sports Report. The DeAndre Hopkins trade has been crazy, so we've grown a lot. But listen, I am no stranger to Raiders fans talking crap when we have lost to them. When they lost to them with Derek Carr, and then last year I heard that a lot. So you guys can follow me over there. You can talk all the shit you want. I'm going to be there for it. And I always love seeing the Raiders fans on the channel, win or lose. But no, definitely one thing that I'm interested to see in this game, let's just say you guys go down 10-0. What is the mindset, the vibe? Is it over? Is there any fight in your team? I know some teams, like the Ravens, if you get ahead, it's over. But is it something that you could come back from? I don't know. We
did it against Cleveland. We went down, came back, won. I mean, but they're not the Chiefs. Baltimore, we found a way to beat them in that fourth quarter. But I really haven't seen any fight in this team, honestly, bro, since then. Since week 2 in that fourth quarter where we came back and beat a phenomenal football team in the Baltimore Ravens. So I don't know. I just know that Chiefs week is different. It kind of unlocks a lot out of both sides.
The best.
Yeah, right? Because both teams want this like insane. And this is going to be a packed house. It's going to be tons of Chiefs fans in there. Probably more than Raider fans.
70-30. 70-30.
Probably. At bare minimum 60-40. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a fun playoff type atmosphere, even though we're 2-5 and you guys are 6-0. It's always just a great time for the Raiders and Chiefs. And Chiefs week is just always something that we look forward to, regardless of how bad we are, how good we are, how good you guys are, how bad you guys. This is the funnest rivalry in football. You know what I mean? It's crazy to get you guys this week, and then the Niners get the Cowboys, which one of the other funnest rivalries to watch in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
And honestly, if the Raiders were just a little bit better, I think that one might be bigger, because these two teams have hated each other. I mean, I know how big Cowboys-Niners is. Yeah. Cowboys are kind of dog shit, and the Niners are 3-4. So it's like you don't really know what those teams are, but the Chiefs are solid. You know that the Raiders could be there in a couple years. But one thing I'm going to mention, I'm going to make a comparison to college football. So KU lost last night to K-State. I was at the game shooting photos. K-State is a better football team than KU. KU outplayed them. At one point, it was 27-26. We had the ball, driving with 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. We were winning. Our quarterback, Jalen Daniels, fumbles the football. They kick a field goal, and we lose. We play better than them, and we lose. And honestly, I would say that this could be what the Raiders game is today. You guys might play better than us, but we find a way to miraculously win, and it's going to make you pull your hair out. That's kind of what I'm feeling.
Bro, I'm a Raider fan. I don't have any hair left, bro.
You've been pulling it out. Like it has been, it's that kind of comparison, just where like you could outplay them, but somehow, some way they're going to find a way to just beat you. It's going to make you just end yourself.
How has your offensive line held up this year?
They've been good. Honestly, there's been a little bit of instability at the left tackle position. They benched their second round draft pick in week 2. Kingsley Suamataia was
Wow.
drafted out of BYU in the second round.
Yeah.
And against Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals, he got Graphk. He got molested. He was molested against Trey
Start
Hendrickson.
him today, Darcy. Start him.
Listen, I mean, maybe we get like an all-pro performance if we start him today. I don't know. But like he was bad. I mean, I think Hendrickson had 3 sacks of his own, and like it was so bad. But you know, Wanya Morris has been solid. He's been listen, he's not the best option, he's not the worst option. He's
kind of out of Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
He's nice. He's nice.
Yeah. He's been a good, you know, solid left tackle. I still think they dropped the ball mightily by going into the season thinking, yeah, we'll just start a rookie left tackle for Patrick Mahomes. Like that'll work out. And you know, maybe there's something in the future of Kingsley, but man, in the first 2 weeks of the season, he looked like me out there, just lost.
What are you expecting from that right side today with Juwan Taylor facing Max Crosby, one of the better defensive ends in the NFL? You know, this is a guy that, you know, was really looking at potentially being the defensive player of the year this year, you know, with the instability in our organization. You know, he missed a week, you know, with the sprained ankle, and he's been fighting through it. What do you expect from that right side? Are you guys going to chip away at Max over there? How's Juwan been looking?
Juwan's been solid. I think when you're going up against a pass rusher as good as Max Crosby is, you're going to need help to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Juwan Taylor gets called for a few false starts in this game, maybe getting a move in a little early. He's had that issue before. And listen, going up against Crosby, you're going to need every second you can get.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think you're going to see a couple of those in this game. You'll probably see them chip Crosby with Kelsey, or, you know, maybe they motion Gray and do that with him, but you're going to need a little help. I mean, Crosby's the only guy that can really kill you on that defensive line right now. And so it would be foolish for Andy Reid to not take any notice of that. I'd be surprised if they just said, hey, Juwan, go out there and stop him all game. Like they're going to help a little bit. Definitely on third down. That'll be a big, you know, chip time, because Kelsey can chip Crosby and then find a way to kind of get open and find space for a catch. But I do think that they're going to have to get some additional help to stop Crosby.
The thing I'm worried about the Chiefs is as much as we're kind of, and not you per se, but, you know, the world is kind of down on Patrick Mahomes right now. You guys are kind of slowly figuring it out. So you go from beating the Cincinnati Bengals by a point, right? You beat the Falcons by 5, which was a very tough match. Then you end up, you know, beating the Chargers by 7. But then you start to gel a little bit. You kind of go out there and beat the hell out of the Saints. Then you find a way to beat the Niners by multiple scores. You're finally starting to see things starting to move in the right direction. It's starting to look more like the old Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I mean? And I just hope that you guys don't take this week to figure
it all out.
Yeah.
Here's one thing. I will say this for you, Graphk, and all the Raiders fans. I would have felt a lot better going into this game if we would have lost last week. The fact that we're 6-0, we've won our last 12. The last team to beat us was you guys.
Yeah.
The fact that we're in this position, maybe this is the old Chiefs fan in me. Things are going too good. Things are going a little too perfect to find a way to win every single week like this. And the one week that they lose, I don't want it to be this week. It could be next week. It cannot be that. I'd rather lose to the Carolina Panthers than lose to the Las Vegas Raiders.
You're a local guy. What is the narrative out there? Is that continuing to be pushed out there that we were the last team to beat you guys? Yes. Is that something that's big out there to remind you guys, like, go beat the Raiders, regardless of them being 2-5? This is the last team to beat you guys.
Honestly, I think you guys would have had a way better chance to beat us this year if you didn't beat us last year. Because I think that it would have been so easy for us to say, oh, it's the Raiders, they're 2-5. Like, who cares? But since you did beat us on Christmas, they've kind of circled that game. And so, like I've heard on multiple talk radio stations, they've won 12 games, but the last team to beat them was this Raiders team on Christmas. So it is still in our minds and our hearts about what happened on Christmas when the Grinch stole it from us. But we definitely are remembering that day very, very much so. But I don't know how much motivation they're going to take from that. I would assume a lot, but I think it's so weird to see this Chiefs team because they don't really get moved. Injuries, they don't move. Stuff that happens, they don't move. So they kind of just continue to play their style of football.
It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. I mean, you might hear the occasional, like they'll probably play the puppet video before they go out there, but like they're not going to get overly emotional. You know, I think that's something in football that you saw last week with Trey, their left tackle. Why am I drawing a blank? best left tackle in football. Niners.
With Trent Williams.
You saw him punch Brian Cook. Yeah. And while Brian Cook did hit him first,
didn't he hit Mahomes too? Who hit Mahomes? Did somebody hit Mahomes?
99 for the Niners. I don't know who it was.
Okay, that's what it was.
Punched Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which for the refs bail out the Chiefs fans. I listen. That was bad. Listen, I think that there's no part in football for that. Like I would not.
No, it's gonna be dirty today, Darcy. I'm telling you now, it's gonna be dirty. There's gonna be a lot of 15-yard penalties, and I'm okay with that. Because this is the Raiders Chiefs. It's going to get nasty out there on both sides of the football, especially if you guys try that sneaky gimmick play to try to embarrass us in our own place. Oh, bro, it's going to get nasty out there.
Andy Reid is going to pull out some 1945 Pro Bowl, like random ass play, and it's going to work. Like he's probably watching film from the 1930s, Super Bowl or something like that. So no, it's we'll see what he pulls out. But like, there's going to be some animosity in this game. Like there's hatred, but hopefully no one gets hurt. I'm all for like violence and stuff like that, but like we're both going through injuries right now. We don't need any more. Yeah, we got a long season to go. Like we don't need any injuries. But like let it be dirty.
Few more questions before we get out of here. And real quick, salute to Hug, my dog. I appreciate you gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. Salute to all the new members here in the building. If you guys want to become a member and missed out on those, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It's definitely one of the best ways to help us keep the lights on over here at OLV. Some predictions, Darce. I want to what do you expect from Patrick Mahomes today in terms of production?
I think he's going to have a sneaky good game. Hopefully that interception problem gets cleared up. I'm gonna hope that's the case. We've been bad in
takeaways. We've been terrible in takeaways this year. So
then I'll say that Patrick Mahomes goes his first game without throwing an interception. Let's say that he probably won't have more than 300 yards, but they'll probably win by multiple scores or something ridiculous like that. Like I'm not expecting Mahomes to go out there and throw for 400 yards.
Yeah,
but he could have a couple touchdowns. I think they'll be very efficient today. I would not be surprised if they score a lot on their offensive drives and they take 7 or 8 minutes to do it. And so using Kareem Hunt, running the football. With that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's close most of the game and maybe the Chiefs kind of try to stick it to them in late in the game and they might put up another touchdown in garbage time or, something like that. I'm going to say 24-17, maybe 27-17. I could see a 7 to 10 point win for the Chiefs. Would I be surprised if they won by multiple scores? Yes and no, because I don't think this Raiders team is very good, but we just haven't done it. So we're just got to wait and see if we can blow this team out. But I don't really care about the blowout. All I care about is the win. And as long as they can, correct some of the small things like the turnovers and the interceptions, I'll be happy. I really will, because this team is, fixing little things week by week. And if they could just do that this week, then they'll be fine.
I think it's going to be like a 20-17, 21-8. It's going to be somewhere in that 3-point range. I think this defense shows up today. I don't think that Mahomes is going to go out there and throw 3 or 4 picks, but I do believe we'll come up with one.
Who's got it?
Yeah, I think – I want to say Jacorian Bennett because I've been waiting for this kid, man. He has been locked down all year, Darcy. I'm telling you, if you get an opportunity, watch some tape on this kid, man. Okay. The pass breakups, he's been doing everything but getting his hands on the football and coming down with a pick. So I'm hoping it's Jacorian Bennett, but I probably will play it safe here and say Jack Jones because he's been kind of salivating, waiting for this opportunity to run it back against the Chiefs. So I'd probably say Jack Jones. You know what I mean? And I think this is going to be, like I said, a close game. We talked about it on the AFC West Roundtable. I'm going to say a 20-17, and that's kind of being actually kind of positive about my Raiders because the offense has struggled. We put up 15 on the Rams last week. So, I don't know if that's even feasible to say 17 on this great defense, but this is a divisional rival. I think it's going to be a close game. I do believe you guys are going to win by a close one, and it hurts my soul to say that. But, hey, any given Sunday, right? Any given Sunday. You never know.
It was any given Sunday on Christmas, and we saw what happened. So, not to give you guys any more optimism because I hate you guys, but there you go. Like, you never know. It's been 12 games they've won. Like I said, things have been going really well, and it would be a very Chiefs thing to lose this game.
Yeah. Well,
and a Raiders thing to win it.
Yeah. The thing that scares me, though, is just we have not been able to run the football, so now you're expecting Gardner Minshew to go out there and create the offense for you. And that's what sucks because Zeus is not going to run against this defense. Hopefully, Alexander Madison gets some reps and he gets going quick. Yeah. That'd be great, but I don't I don't believe in this run game at all. And I think that's going to be what really determines the offensive side of the ball for us is running the football. And I don't trust it. So, and that's why we're going to struggle. And I think that Minshew will throw a couple picks. And if he does, hopefully we see Carter Bradley or Desmond Ridder. Because at this point, we have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Like, let's just see what one of the young guys can do out there. Salute to everybody here in the building. As always, once again, man, let everybody know, Darce, where they can follow you at and everything on the way out, brother.
You guys can find me on YouTube, obviously, KC Sports Report. It's the one-stop shop for everything, basically. I'm more active on YouTube than I am anywhere else.
Yeah.
Twitter's also at the Michael Darcy or KC Sports Report on Twitter, the personal and the business one. But, yeah, definitely YouTube's the spot. And win or lose, I hope to see all of you guys on the channel or the AFC West Roundtable. Because I'm not going to lie, guys, beginning of the season, it was Raider Nation. We've started to see that dip.
Started to dwindle, man. Yeah.
We've seen the Raiders fans kind of go away. And so we need you guys back on the AFC West Roundtable because win or lose, like, you got to rep your squad.
Definitely. And salute real quick to our guy, Darcy. Let's give him his flowers. We know he's a chief, but, he's done some things. Young, man, already been, Bleacher Report and NFL credentialed and stuff. He's definitely someone that is trustworthy in this space. So make sure you guys go give our guy a follow, even though he's a chief. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and support our guy. And I'm looking forward to Tuesday, man, so we can always talk our shit. And I'm going to make sure, email me your email. Send me your email right now so I can send over the video, and you can upload it on your channel as well.
Sweet. Sounds good.
Once again, and salute to the chat, you guys. I'll be live here in about 30 minutes for the game, for the watch party. Are you going to the game today?
I'm going to a casino to do a live hit. So I got to get going here in a minute. But no, yeah, it should be a good one.
Well, brother, I appreciate you. And hey, man, next time, let's run it back. You know what? Arrowhead, you want to do something live?
Are you going to come to
Bro, you're 6 hours away from me to drive. I'll drive out.
If you could potentially, I don't know when you'd plan on coming. Since I work for the team, for anyone that doesn't know, I could probably schedule a tour. I don't know if you'd be interested in that.
Yeah,
I could definitely
I'm gonna look like this, but we could do it.
I could definitely get something cooked up.
You know what? If you do that, I'll set one up in Vegas. When you go out there, we can do the same thing. That'd be good. Okay. So remember that Black Friday. If you're around, brother, I will definitely drive out there. We can kick it.
Yeah, I'll have to be there because I'm working it, so we might as well do something.
Let's do it. There you go. Salute to everybody here in the building. Get out of here, man. Get to work. Salute to everybody. Hope to see you guys on the watch party. Raiders, Chiefs. Got to say it regardless of anything. As much as I'm not enthusiastic about this team, Raiders. Got to do it, Darcy.
Television, baby.
My brother, I appreciate you as always. Hope to see you guys here in a few minutes. We out. One.